Don't escape your life, design it. Because here's the truth, nobody says out loud. Most people don't really hate Mondays. Most people don't really need a vacation. Most people don't actually want to run away from the world. They just want to run away from the life they accidentally built. A life full of obligations they didn't choose. A routine they didn't design. A schedule that drains them instead of raises them. But you're here right now because something inside you is whispering that your life can be more. That your days can feel meaningful. That your purpose can feel real. That your work, your habits, your lifestyle can align with who you truly are. This is not a video about escaping. This is about designing a life you don't want to run away from. So let's begin. There's a moment in everyone's life. Sometimes it comes quietly. Sometimes like a storm. When you look around and ask yourself, how did I get here? Maybe you wake up tired. Not just physically, but mentally exhausted from the idea of repeating the same day again. Maybe you look at your job and feel like it's draining more than it's giving. Maybe your relationships feel shallow. Maybe your dreams feel further away than ever. Maybe your days blend together like a blurred timeline. Or maybe you've simply stopped feeling alive. And then you scroll through social media and you see people in Italy, in Bali, on beaches, in mountains, smiling, eating, traveling, living. Meanwhile, you're staring at your ceiling, wondering when it'll be your turn. But here's a shocking truth. Most people chasing vacations are actually chasing relief, not happiness. Relief from pressure, relief from confusion, relief from stress, relief from an identity they no longer connect with. But that's not living, that's escaping. You don't need to escape your life. You need to redesign it. And it starts with one simple question. What does a life I don't need a vacation from actually look like? Let me tell you a story. Years ago, there was a man named Daniel. He had the job he thought he wanted, a salary that looked good on paper, a home that impressed people, a routine that checked all the successful adult boxes. But every morning, he woke up with a heaviness in his chest, a dull ache of dissatisfaction, a quiet unhappiness he couldn't explain. His life looked right, but it didn't feel right. He tried vacations. He traveled. He explored. He posted the pictures, smiling, pretending, capturing moments that looked like joy. But the moment he returned home, the emptiness returned with him, sitting on his shoulders like a weight. One day, he visited his grandfather, a retired carpenter who lived alone in a small, peaceful town. Daniel sat with him on the porch, frustration pouring out of him. I hate this. I hate waking up tired. I hate living for weekends. I hate feeling stuck. Why does everyone else look happy? Why can't I feel that? His grandfather smiled gently, looked at the sky, and said, because, Daniel, you're living a life built by the world, not by your soul. Daniel frowned. What does that mean? His grandfather leaned back and replied, you build your life the way others told you to, what job to get, what success looks like, how fast you should climb. But you never asked yourself what you truly want. You're trying to escape a life that was never yours in the first place. That moment hit Daniel like lightning. His grandfather continued, a vacation doesn't fix a broken life. A weekend doesn't fix a drained spirit. A break doesn't fix the wrong direction. You don't need an escape. You need alignment. Daniel stayed silent, letting those words sink in. Let me tell you how you build a life you don't need to escape from. His grandfather said, piece by piece, choice by choice, day by day. And then he shared 4 principles, the same for you. We're about to hear, that changed Daniel's life forever. The first principle, design your days, or your days will design you. Most people live on autopilot. Wake up gives rush, gives work, gives scroll, gives sleep, gives repeat. No intention, no structure, no clarity. But every life you admire, every person who radiates peace, every individual who seems genuinely fulfilled, they design their day. Not every minute, just the parts that matter. A simple morning ritual. Time for work that matters. Not just tasks that look busy. A bit of learning, a bit of rest, a bit of movement, a bit of meaning. When Daniel heard this, he realized he had zero control over his own schedule. His job owned him. His notifications owned him. His habits owned him. So he changed 2 things. He created a morning routine. And he set boundaries. Nothing dramatic. Nothing complex. Just enough structure to feel alive again. He stopped checking emails first thing in the morning. He went for 20-minute walks. He spent 10 minutes journaling. He ate breakfast without scrolling. He paused. He breathed. He reclaimed his mornings, and slowly, his life started to feel different. Because when you own your morning, you start owning your life. The second principle: build work that excites you, not work that just pays you. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. It doesn't mean chase passion blindly. It means slowly, deliberately moving your career toward something that feeds your soul. Daniel realized he hated climbing corporate ladders, not because he was lazy, but because he craved creativity, autonomy, impact. So he started small. After work, he spent an hour every evening designing woodworking projects, something he had loved as a child but abandoned as he grew older. He created furniture, small shelves, decorative pieces, and for the first time in years, he felt lit up. Not because he was making money, not because anyone praised him, but because he felt connected to his work. That 1 hour a day grew to 2, then to weekends, then eventually, into a full-time business. But here's the important part. He didn't escape his job out of frustration. He evolved into a calling. Because true career freedom doesn't come from quitting, it comes from building. When you do work that excites you, even a hard day feels meaningful. But when you do work that drains you, even a vacation feels short. The third principle: simplify your life so you can amplify your happiness. A lot of stress doesn't come from problems, it comes from clutter. Too many commitments, too many distractions, too much comparison, too much noise. Daniel's grandfather taught him this. The simpler your life becomes, the richer your spirit feels. Simple doesn't mean small. Simple means intentional. So Daniel removed things from his life. The people who drained him, the habits that numbed him, the purchases that impressed others but stressed him, the goals that weren't truly his. He simplified everything, and suddenly he had space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to create, space to grow. Because you can't build a meaningful life on top of chaos. You need room for peace. The fourth principle: fill your life with things that restore you, not just distract you. This is where most people go wrong. They mistake distraction for recovery. Scrolling is not rest. Drinking is not peace. Escaping is not healing. Rest is connection. Rest is creation. Rest is silence. Rest is joy. Rest is movement. Rest is the feeling of being alive. Daniel began spending time outdoors. He reconnected with old friends who brought him energy, not drama. He found hobbies that made him feel human again. And as he built these habits, something incredible happened. He no longer looked forward to vacations, because his everyday life felt like something he wanted to be awake for. Not perfect, not always easy, but meaningful. A life you don't need to escape from doesn't mean luxury. It doesn't mean financial freedom overnight. It doesn't mean perfect schedules or perfect habits. It means building a life where your soul doesn't feel suffocated. A life with purpose in your work, peace in your routines, love in your relationships, growth in your habits, and alignment in your choices. A life that feels like you. And here's the powerful truth. You don't build that life with one big decision. You build it with small decisions repeated over time. You become the architect, the designer, the builder, not by running away, but by taking ownership. Maybe right now, you feel stuck. Maybe you don't know where to begin. Maybe your life feels too chaotic, too heavy, too far gone. But listen closely. You are one decision away from a new direction. One small habit away from a new identity. One brave choice away from a new beginning. A year from now, your life could be unrecognizable in the best way, but only if you stop escaping and start designing. So today, ask yourself, what would my life look like if it truly belonged to me? Not your boss, not society, not expectations, not pressure, not fear. You. What would your days look like? What work would you do? Who would you become? How would you feel when you wake up? And then take one small step toward that vision. Because the life you want isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's not on a beach. It's not in a vacation home. It's not in another country. It's right here. In your habits. In your choices. In your routines. In your courage. Don't escape your life. Design it. This is your moment. The blueprint is in your hands. Start building.